Hi, my name is Zainab Acham, and for my literacy narrative, I talked about the story of me losing and then regaining my Wolof, which is my native language, through my literacy. So, as a child, I spoke Wolof fluently. It was the first language I learned on top of English, but Wolof is all I spoke at the house. It's how I communicated with my family. It's how I watched a lot of shows. It's also another way that I spend a lot of quality time with my family back home in Senegal. However, as I got to kindergarten, my teacher started seeing me mix up my words between Wolof and English, and it affected the way I read and affected the way I was speaking. So they mentioned it to my mom, and due to the fact that my parents are immigrants, they've had to struggle with adjusting to English, and they did not want that struggle for me. So my mom made the decision of us switching to a fully English house. Although my family still did speak Wolof, I was expected to speak back, but in English. And because of this, after a while, I slowly but surely lost my Wolof. Right? And my Wolof is such a key part of my identity. So I felt so lost without it. And by the time I was 10, I can remember talking to my family and telling them I sound like a foreigner, and I could barely even speak the language that I grew up to love. When I was 14, right before the pandemic, I went to Senegal. And over there, I realized how different I was. I wasn't the kid I used to be who spoke Wolof and lit up the rooms. I was someone who didn't even know her culture. And that really hurt me. I felt disconnected from my cousins, from my aunts and uncles. And although they tried to put me on conversation, I was too embarrassed to even attempt to speak my language again. So one day, I remember just sitting at the kitchen table and just laughing with my family, and it made me really sad because I couldn't do that anymore. So I came to the terms that I would work on bringing back my Wolof, and I did this through literacy. So I did small steps. I watched a lot of Senegalese shows using English subtitles, and then afterwards I got rid of them. I started reading the lyrics of the songs I would listen to. I would read recipe books with my grandma or my mom, but in Wolof, I would try to text my cousins in Wolof and just practice my Wolof as much as I could through literacy as well as speaking. And then slowly but surely, the language came back to me. And I really thank my trip to Senegal for me coming back to my identity, because my language isn't just something I use to communicate with others, but it was a key part of me as a Senegalese first generation. Thank you.